Roberts Band concert last November, and I know I'm supposed to be of the generation that brought you Loverboy and Bryan Adams and Tom Cochrane and Red Ryder, but I believe that music-wise, Sam Roberts' brand of think rock is the best thing this country's got going right now. Yeah, you laugh. At any rate, it was a great concert, and when the band started playing Brother Down, which is the song you just listened to, I mean, there was a noticeable difference in the decibel level of the auditorium. I mean, anybody that wasn't already standing on their feet got to their feet and started belting out the words to that song. Everybody knew all the words to Brother Down. And when that song's refrain was sung, man, I'll tell you, there was such emotion in that place. I got goosebumps. And it's like, I think my life is passing me by. I'm just shouting it out. And the irony of it is I'm at this concert, right? And I'm surrounded by all these university students, right? You guys know where I'm going. They're like 18 to 22. And they're shouting out, they're lamenting the fact that their lives are passing them by. And I'm thinking, what the heck? These kids are young enough to be my own kids. What does it mean for my life? So I think the fourth thing that prevents many of us from enjoying God's gift of Sabbath rest is future focus. Our future focus. I mean, we've only got one life to live, right? And we want to make the most of it. We want to see the world. We want to accomplish our dreams. So we work harder and harder to get to where we think we need to be, where we want to be, to get to that school we want to go to earn the degree we want to earn, to land the job at the end of the rainbow, to find that special someone, to get kids, to accomplish goals, to reach our dreams. But there's no place to go. Every time we finally reach the future, it vanishes into the present. Now, of course, this perplexing tendency of the future to keep eluding us doesn't teach us to be more present in the present or to rest. It just compels us to accelerate faster, to make up ground we think we've lost. We redouble our straining toward the future, never stopping to see where we are, never pausing to taste the fruit of our labors. As our Heavenly Father paused to taste the fruit of His labor after the creation of this universe. Our thoughts are preoccupied with the idea that our true rest will come when we're successful, when we're rich, when it's our turn. And, I love Psalm 23. But for so many people, even Christians, Psalm 23 becomes like an end-of-the-life funeral kind of thing. But David wrote it as an in this life, you lead me beside quiet waters. You restore my soul. You guys, we don't have to wait till we're in a coffin to have our souls restored. Author Wayne Muller calls this the theology of progress. The theology of progress. And I'm telling you that the theology of progress is a dangerous thing because it means that satisfaction and delight are forever just beyond your grasp. I think my life is passing me by. Now, who can rest when you think your life is passing you by? And if that weren't enough, you guys getting depressed? If that weren't enough, our current global economic slowdown has meant that those of us who are working harder than ever before. We know that there's more competition for jobs in the marketplace, and if there's going to be another layoff, we want to do all we can to ensure that it's not us, that it's someone else. And this leads to increased stress, not only in the workplace, because you know as well as I do that it carries over into our marriages, into our interactions with children, and less interactions with friends. We volunteer for things in our church, and events are called, and we don't RSVP. We're too busy. We're too busy to pick up a phone and say, you know what, I can't make it. Sorry. Thanks, though. Thanks for trying to stay in touch. Maybe next time. And the next time comes and nothing changes. And then in this economic crisis climate, when companies do downsize, they aren't necessarily hiring new people to fill the spot. When someone takes early retirement or gets transferred or leaves or gets laid off, companies aren't rehiring. And so who picks up the slack? The already stressed and now overworked workers. I know people in this church who are working in departments that have experienced downsizing. I know one individual who's in a department of 3 right now that as recently as a year ago had 5. So their work is almost doubled. I know another individual in this church who's a department of 1. Last summer there were 3 in the department. That brings us back to the frustration I talked about. So which of those 4 that I just gave you is the reason that is the biggest barrier to your enjoying God's gift of Sabbath rest for you? Is it the fear? Is it the frustration? Is it that future focus? Or is it your preoccupation with finishing? You need to identify it and you need to label it. I hesitate to tell you the number of River City families I've encountered these past few weeks just doing visits to homes. They're living at such a frenetic pace and with such little margin that if one more thing goes wrong, they're going to crack. And then who knows what's going to happen. And these are families in our midst, families whom we love deeply. And unless something happens, unless some head of some home stands up and says, enough already. I'm doing unhealthy things to me. Bad things are starting to happen in my marriage. Bad things are happening to this family. This must stop. Someone's got to stand up and take responsibility for ending the madness. And unless that happens, I think these families are going to forever miss out on the gift of rest that their Heavenly Father is setting before them. Like a beautiful banquet table with wine and meat and vegetables and fresh breads. And don't forget the desserts. And by way of extension, we'll miss out on any hope of heaven. We may even miss out on heaven. And you say, well, how does that happen? If heaven isn't a seed of hope in our lives that enables us to persevere as we eke out an existence, that enables us to hold our heads high, especially as we feel our frame bow under the weight of this madness, then like the Hebrew Christians that we met this morning, we may be tempted to give up our faith altogether. We may be tempted to think that this life is all there is. And heaven forever will elude us. So, that's some homework for you. If you're single, today, after all of your Mother's Day things, go to your favorite coffee shop and get yourself a ceramic cup. Okay? Not a travel mug, not a paper cup. An actual ceramic mug that says, I'm not going anywhere quickly. I'm going to sit down. And then take out a notepad or a 3x5 card or a notebook computer or a whatchamacallit and write down when in the rhythm of your life are you going to observe Sabbath. What part of your week is best suited for Sabbath rest? And then mark down how you're going to observe that. What are the things that you're going to do? What are the things that matter? Things that you enjoy. The things that enable you to enjoy God and feel His presence and feel the presence of other people.